Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Rajesh Yadav and in today's session I am going to cover SAS interview tips and tricks. So let's start. So in the first slide we will understand interviewer's mindset. Interviewer has a task to hire a candidate based on the job description. If you fit for the profile, then the interviewer will hire you, otherwise they will reject you. But if they will reject you, that means they have to take interview of another person. They need to apply the same effort again, and this will be a pain for them because they need to do the same thing again and again until they will hire a person. Nobody wants to apply the same effort again and again. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next slide. Keep it simple. So guys, first thing is you create your resume simple. Put all the necessary or key things on the first page of your resume. Because if you create a 3 page or 5 page of resume, then interviewer does not have much time to go through with your entire resume and read it. They will only need key information. And if you put those information on first page, that would be good for your CV. And don't try to create a designing or too complicated resume because resume will not give you a job. Your performance in the interview will give you a job. And second thing, when the interview starts, the first question interviewer asks is about introduction. So, using that question, interviewer wants to establish a conversation and he wants to remove your hesitation while asking this question. So, whenever it is asked to you, then speak slowly and clearly. What generally happens is people speak too fast, like they are running, they are reading something. So when what time we speak too fast or we run when there is a danger, but this is interview, this is not a danger, so don't run fast, speak slowly and clearly. Okay, I will give you an example. Please listen this. Hi, my name is Rajesh Yadav. I am from Rajasthan. I did my graduation from Rajasthan University. If I talk about my work experience, I have 10 years of experience in SAS. I have worked with 5 organizations so far, and my last company was XYZ where I spent 5 months. Okay guys, in this introduction I spoke too fast. It is like I am reading my introduction. Okay, now listen this introduction. Hi, my name is Rajesh Yadav. I'm from Rajasthan. I did my graduation from Rajasthan University. If I talk about my work experience, I have 10 years of experience in SAS. I have worked with 5 organizations so far, and my last company was XYZ, where I spent 5 months. So, guys, have you seen the difference? Only speaking slowly and clearly. Okay, this is like we are having a conversation. This is still not a perfect introduction because this has nothing new that is not mentioned in your CV. So, you can make it little more interesting by adding some interesting things. If you want me to create a separate video on how to introduce yourself, then I can create that video also. So please mention into the comment section if you want a separate video on introduction part. Okay, other things is like, okay, the first question we ask is like rate yourself in SAS, and I generally notice that people rate themselves 10 out of 10. So 10 out of 10 means there is no room for improvement. You know everything about SAS. If you have that much of expertise, that is okay, you can rate yourself. But if you are not, then please don't rate so high because all the questions in this interview will be based on how much you rate yourself. Based on this, we will ask the question. So if you rate 10 out of 10, then ready for the interview of that level. And if you are applying for a job that requires 3 to 4 years of experience or 1 to 3 years of experience, then we are not expecting that you have the expertise of 10 out of 10. If you have, that is fine, that is good for organization. But if you do not have, that is also fine. So I generally rate myself, even I have 10 years of experience, I rate myself 7 or 8 most of the time. So you also rate yourself honestly. I hope guys this is clear. Let's move on to the next slide. Be smart and confident. So what generally happens is during the interview, if you are not confident on any topic, then you can simply say to the interviewer that I am not confident on that topic and you can skip that topic. But if you do not know the answer of a particular question and you are keep guessing and giving wrong answer, then interviewer will understand that this topic is not your forte. You are weak in that particular section. So he will keep asking the question on that particular topic until you accept that you are not confident on this topic. So this way you will waste your time and interviewer's time also. In that time, maybe interviewer would have asked questions on another topic and you would be able to answer it. Since you have given the wrong answer and you are guessing the answer, you wasted your time. That means it will lead to a rejection. Okay. Also, what happens is sometimes you give the correct answer, but interviewer will ask you the same question, or interviewer would put some pressure on you just to check if you are firm on your answer or you are guessing. So if you are confident about your answer, then stick to your answer but avoid any argument. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next slide. Don't try to be over smart. So guys, I generally notice that during the interview process, some people try to take help of Google to answer the question. And believe me, this is cheating. An interviewer quickly find out that you are cheating. So guys, avoid using Google because this will not help you. When an interviewer will ask a question, you will not easily get the answer over Google. You will waste your time and interviewer's time. So avoid using Google during interview. Let's move on to the next slide. Never argue with interviewer. Sometimes what happens is you give an answer and you think that you are right on that, or you may be right, an interviewer may be wrong, but try to avoid any kind of argument, because if this happens, then it leads to rejection and you might get blacklisted in the company. So this will be your loss only. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next slide. How to justify my experience. Guys, this one is the most important and most of the people ask the question on this topic. So what happens is, like, people learning SAS but they are not working on SAS. Maybe some people working on backend process on BPO, but they learn SAS and now they just want to justify their experience in SAS. So how they can justify? So for example, in the first part, I've just mentioned here, I have recently learned SAS and I haven't worked on SAS. How to justify experience in SAS? So since you recently learned and you haven't worked on SAS, but there is one thing, have you worked in any organization before, or you are working in a corporate sector, not in SAS but any other area? If you are not working anywhere, that means you are a fresher. So you need to look for the job for fresher. But if you learn SAS but you are already working in a corporate sector, that means you need to justify your corporate experience in SAS. So for example, you have 3 years of experience in corporate, but recently you learn SAS and you want to justify your 2 years of experience in SAS. So how will you do? Since you are not working on SAS, you may not be having any SAS data. So how you will create SAS data, how you practice, and how you justify your experience. So let's an example. If somebody is working in e-commerce company such as Amazon, let's take an example of Amazon. So you need to create data for Amazon company. So how do you create? For example, Amazon company sales product. So what kind of data you can generate? You can generate product name, product ID, product price, customer ID, okay, customer name, customer location, warehouse location, customer city, purchase date, return date. All these information you can put into one table and you can import that table into SAS, and now you can start analysis on that. So what kind of analysis you can do? You can do how many orders received in last month, okay, how many people returned the order in last month, how much sale was happened, okay. So this way you already started working in SAS. So you can justify your experience. Now you started on working. So you created the data set at home, and the domain on which you work, you have the data of that type. So you are not faking. Now you are actually working in SAS. Maybe that is not officially your manager is asking about these reports or anything, but at your home, you are working on SAS. So this is what happens in organizations. We have a data, our senior management would ask for analysis, ask for report, ask to develop something to provide some kind of data. So this is what we do on day-to-day activities, and you are doing the same activities at home. So you are getting experience in SAS. So if you do this for 3 months, then definitely you will be able to justify for 1 year. or 2 years because you know it. So when you go for the interview and somebody asks you what you do, you just say that we have a e-commerce data and I do these kinds of analysis. I find out total number of shopping happened in last month, how many orders returned, or we just apply the campaign on the data. So people who haven't done any shopping last month, we provide discount to these people so that we can encourage them to do the shopping, or we provide vouchers to the people who have done a good shopping, who has spent good amount shopping in last 6 months. So if somebody has done a shopping of 5,000, we give 50 rupees discount. If a person made a payment of more than 5,000 but less than 20,000, we provide 100 rupees of a discount voucher to them. And if a person has spent more than 50,000, we provide 500 rupees discount. So these kind of things you can explain in your day-to-day activities, and now you can see that you have the experience, you are able to justify your experience in SAS. So guys, I hope this is clear. Still, if you have a different domain or you want to ask a question on this, you can mention into the comment section and I'll specifically answer based on your data, or maybe we can connect for a live session. I will mention my email ID in description section, so we can connect for a live session and I'll guide you how you can justify your experience. So let's move on to the next slide. Learn to lead interview. Okay guys, this one is very interesting. So how you will lead your interview, or how you will guide your interviewer to ask the same questions that you want to be asked. So what happens is, when an interviewer asks you a question, you just leave some hints for the next question so that interviewer will ask the next question based on your answer. So let's understand this with an example. So for example, an interviewer asks you, what are the various ways to remove duplicates in SAS? So you maybe give proc sort using no dupe and no dupe key. You just need to understand what is the difference between no dupe and no dupe key, because interviewer can ask next question on no dupe and no dupe key. Another question interviewer can ask on this topic is, what is the limitation of proc sort? Because for proc sort, observation should be adjacent to each other, then duplicates would be removed. Another answer would be using first dot last concept, using distinct option in proc SQL, count and group by in SAS. Another would be using hash object. So you have given so many answers for that particular question, and now you left some hints to ask the next question. So here the hash object is an advanced topic. So interviewer would be interested to ask a question any of these topic. There is a high probability that he will ask the question on first dot last or hash object. Since you already knew the answer, so if he will ask, then you will be able to answer. So this way you can lead. We can take another example. If interviewer asks you what are the various ways to create macro variables in SAS, so you will say using percent let statement, using percent global, using percent local statement, using calls input, using input x, using percent do loop in SAS. So you have given so many options to the interviewer. Here interviewer can ask you what is the difference between calls input and input x. So this way you are leading your interview. Your interviewer is asking the questions what you want him to ask. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next slide. Always ask questions when you get opportunity. So guys, whenever interviewer gives you an opportunity to ask question, then please ask the question. What I have noticed is, when I give an opportunity to the people to ask, they just simply say no, I don't have any questions. So it seems like maybe they haven't listened the interview carefully, or maybe they have nothing to speak about, they are so much nervous. So what I think person should do is, if he has no question to ask, he can simply ask about role, organization or process, because this shows that you are interested about the organization, you are eager to work with this organization. However, interviewer would explain the process at the start of the interview. Everyone does this. So even I am taking an interview, then I would first tell, okay, this is the organization, this is the process, this is the thing we do, and what is our expectations. So you can ask on that question again at the end. Don't miss this opportunity. Always ask questions on this. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next. So, okay guys, the topic is complete. However, this topic is very large, but this is it for this session. I may create another video to cover rest of the things, or you can mention into the comment section what specific thing you want to understand about interview, or you are facing difficulty in the interview. You can mention into the comment section and I will create a separate video on this. So guys, if you like my video, please do subscribe, because it takes a lot of hard work to create such videos. So please do subscribe the channel, like it, share it. Okay, so we will meet into the next session. Till then, bye and take care.